Hi, everybody. It's time for Brunch with Brian again. Actually, we're a couple minutes late because maybe you were over watching Ron on with the Quick Start, which is awesome. You guys know we went through that training about 17 years ago. And that was really monumental, life-changing training for us. Really made all the difference for us, took us on a different path, took us down the pretty house path. We had been doing rehabs and wholes, we'd been doing what everybody was doing, the rehabs and the buy and holds, and Ron changed our model and never looked back. So Ron is really the man to learn from, and there's some really great training there. So welcome to Brunch with Brian. And how do we always start? With a smile. Don't forget to start each day with a smile. So you guys are all smiling right now, right? So we all have a big smile on our face. 30 seconds, remember, and on your watch, you've got a little timer. Everybody's got a timer on their watch somewhere, a little stopwatch. And so we all have this little on your iWatch. It's a little orange timer. And so you just press that orange timer and you smile for 30 seconds. But remember, guys, just smile all the time. Just as much as you can remember to smile. Just smile as much as you can, as much as you remember. Anytime you think of the word smile, just smile. And but definitely practice, and practice smiling. And remember, when you don't need it, when you're fighting it, that's when you need it the most. And so just take smile breaks during the day. Whenever you say, oh, I need a coffee break or I need a break, think a smile break. A smile break is the best break you can take. That's a great saying. Okay, that's our quote for today. A smile break is the best break you can take. Okay, so just take, you know what? A 10-second smile break is going to rejuvenate you a lot more than a 15-minute coffee break where you go get just some more caffeine. The caffeine's going to spike you up, and you know what we do? So much of the time we'll take a coffee break and we'll eat something sweet. We'll have like a donut or something. Is that really a break for your body to eat a donut and a coffee? I mean, it'll spike you. It'll give you a little. Definitely, it'll give you an infusion of energy for a brief time. It'll juice you up with caffeine and sugar, but then what happens after that? In another half hour, an hour, you're going to be crashing, and then you're going to need another something to juice you up. So does smiling, will smiling spike your blood sugar and then cause a crash later? Absolutely not. So you can always get some great energy from smiling. So guys, I love to smile, and I want you guys always smiling. So now let's do our deep breathing, and let's go in. And hold a little bit, and let it all out. Let all the energy, let all the negative energy or intention out. Now, guys, especially if you've been training all morning, this is a really good exercise at lunch. Let all the energy, let all the tension in out. Okay, second deep breath in, right? Now, don't forget, while you're taking your deep breaths, keep the smile. No reason not to. It's a pleasant feeling is the breathing. So hold it for a little bit and let it all go. Just let it just get really nice and loose when you're exhaling. Okay, another deep breath, one more. Hold it for a little bit and oh, it feels so good. Let all that tension out. And you know what? I don't talk about your neck enough. I talk about your lower back. I do a pretty good job of that because everybody has a lot of tension and stiffness in your lower back. So the more you can loosen up your lower back, the better. But, for sure, the other one is your neck. So your lower back and your neck is probably your two biggest, and your shoulders, two biggest tension points. So don't forget that self-massage I talk about. That's another great break right now, guys. Let's do it. If you're not like sitting in around a whole bunch of other people where it's going to look weird, even if you are, this doesn't look that weird, guys, to give yourself a little neck massage, and this is really good for you. And maybe nowadays you're not really around a bunch of people, no matter where you are. So there's not bunch of people staring at you, no matter where you are. So you can probably do this no matter. So just get your neck and get both arms up there. Get your fingertips and push them into the back of your neck. You got 2 muscle groups running up the back there. That's always really great. So that's almost like your motion. I talk about movement every day. That's a really good movement. Doing like a little self-massage like that is a really good movement. Now our reading for today, we're going to do the 7 Laws of Success. Now, I don't even know where I got this book. It was some little thrown in bonus of, it was probably something I bought of Napoleon Hills or something, some kind of bonus or some kind of package I bought, some kind of system I bought, and it's by Herbert Armstrong. So I don't know who this is. And and it probably would have been a good idea when they sent this book out to have like who Herbert Armstrong is. But nowadays, how do we find out who people are? Alexa, who's Herbert W. Armstrong?
Herbert W. Armstrong is the founder of the Radio Church of God, incorporated October 21st, 1933, and later renamed Worldwide Church of God on June 1st, 1968. And also started Ambassador College October 8, 1947. He was an early pioneer of radio and televangelism, first taken to the airwaves on January 7, 1934 from the 100-watt station KOR in Eugene, Oregon.
Okay, that's interesting. So he started a 100-watt radio station. He was a televangelist in Oregon. So that's interesting. Herbert W. Armstrong in the 30s. 1934. So here's a lot of good quotes. Here is the surprising answer to life's most difficult problem, proving that no human need ever become a failure. All who have succeeded have followed these 7 laws. The only way to success is not a copyrighted formula being sold for a price. You can't buy it. The price is your own application to the 7 existing laws. Okay, so basically, guys, these aren't, groundbreaking, things that aren't pretty well that you could figure out. For instance, now I love, his first one is that you need a goal. Okay, your first one is that you need a goal. He has, this is a really neat book, but it's, it's an older book. The guy started in the 30s. The book was written, probably in the 30s or 40s. And he talks about having a goal as the first one. And I guess my reading that I thought was interesting and what I really wanted to hit on today, and I didn't get to it yet, and I wanted to lead with this. Now, 2 days in a row, I buried the lead. Okay, the lead for today was supposed to be talking about the 1031 exchange. Yeah, that was supposed to be the lead yesterday on tax day. My biggest tax tip for you guys, especially with now it doesn't work with flips. So don't misunderstand what I was saying yesterday about the 1031 exchanges, and we have questions about that. Does the 1031 exchange, can you never pay taxes as a real estate investor if you're doing flips with the 1031 exchange? Can you do a flip, take your profits from that flip and reinvest it in more flips and not have to pay taxes? No, okay, you can't. So you have to actually but if you buy it, now this is the 3 words in the IRS code, and it is, the 3 words are held for investment. It's not that specific. The IRS actually doesn't give you a lot of guidance beyond that, beyond held for investment. However, if it's clear that you are on a flipping model, if you bought a junker, the thing obviously needed work. You had a crew in there fixing it up, and then when you got done, you hired an agent and put it in the MLS. Did that ever look like you were buying it to hold it? Did it ever look like that it was held for investment, those 3 words? No. So the IRS would disallow if you took the cash proceeds from that sale and then you tried to 1031 exchange those profits and use that to reinvest in other properties. That wouldn't work. They would disallow that. But if you bought that property, and even if you put a tenant in there and you put what we call a lease purchase tenant buyer, and then they gave you a non-refundable option deposit of 10 or 20 or $30,000. And then if they cashed you out in 2 months or 3 months or 6 months, if they moved very quickly through the qualification process, got a new bank loan and cashed you out, it might look like that was almost like a flip because you cashed out very quickly, but because of the paperwork trail that they had signed a lease option and then they cashed you out quickly, it was clear, if anybody looked closely, that this was a property that was technically held for investment, although it flipped very quickly. So there would be no question as to the fact that this would qualify for a 1031 exchange. Now, as I talked about yesterday, the 1031 exchange money, whatever profit came out of that property, this is the thing that people don't understand about 1031 exchanges. They always think, well, what's the point of just taking all the money out of that deal and just sinking it all into another deal? What does that help me? All that means is I'm just taking all my profits and just rolling it forward constantly, and I'm never getting any money. Okay, well, that's the problem with 1031 exchanges, why people don't think there's any profit in them. But in reality, guys, there is profit, because when you roll it forward into more creative financed properties, what do you get back right away? You get non-refundable option deposits. So if you take a property that's 200,000, you've held it for a while, so you actually end up making 80,000 profit because you've held it for a while. You could take that 80,000 profit and have 3 big non-refundable option deposits for 3 more properties. You could buy 3 more $200,000 properties and give all 3 of those sellers $20,000 down payment, $20,000 down payment, and a $40,000 down payment. And so those would be very easy to buy with big down payments like that. And you would have triple your asset base, triple your monthly cash flow. And now Ron teaches this at the Quick Start. So you guys who are at the Quick Start, Ron is probably, I don't know when exactly he goes over this, probably entity structuring. So he may have already gone over this. So, but at some point he talks about this 1031 exchange. And guys, this is this is about as significant as it gets in terms of wealth creation long-term with the pretty house business, because legitimately you can just keep trading up and tripling your asset base. So this is a really significant change. Now, how does that play into our 7 laws of success? Well, the first law, certainly nothing in life is more important than to know what is real success and how to achieve it. What then is the first law of success? And basically he gets to it eventually. Here then is the first law of success: fix the right goal. So write that down, guys. Here then, everybody, and I'll tell you that everybody who has written about success, from Napoleon Hill to to Stephen Covey, to everybody else, to me, to Ron, to everybody you've ever read, has an order of things, and we all talk about goals. Goals and plans are going to be a part of it. And when you read and if you come to our Taking Action workshop, and we're going to do a virtual Taking Action workshop, and we have 2 events. The Wolff couple have 2 events. We do a Taking Action workshop, and we do a Leads to Deeds boot camp, Leads to Deeds Pretty House boot camp, which we just talked about. And so at our Taking Action workshop, we talk a lot about different, setting goals and making plans. That's a big part of success. So setting goals is the first law. Fix the right goal. So yes, you need the right goal. And in real estate, your right goal is 1 pretty house deal a month. And so your goal for achievement in the pretty house world is 1 pretty house deal per month. Now, if you guys do other kinds of deals, if you like to do rehabs and that, I'm okay with that. I don't want you to cut off parts of your business if they're evolved and functioning. But if you aren't doing anything in real estate now, I want you to get a pretty house machine set up to do 1 deal a month. Now, actually, I was setting this reading today to actually talk about the second law, because that's kind of where the 1031 exchange works in. That's a nugget of learning. And I talked about the learning process. I talked about the learning process on our Teaching Tuesdays this week. And guys, if you're not listening to our Teaching Tuesdays every week, that's a weekly 1-hour conference call session where we go more in depth on a subject. And this week it was the only process to wealth, the only true process to wealth is the learning process. And so that was a sort of a in-depth look at learning. So guys, the second law of success in time sequence is education or preparation. So this is the vital second law for Herbert W. Armstrong, who you probably never heard of before, but who started an evangelical radio station back in the 30s and was an intelligent guy and wrote a lot of, very intelligent success training even back then. So the second law of success is education or preparation. Preparation or education. And that's what you guys are doing here. When you come on the Brunches with Brian, guys, you're getting educated, you're getting the right mindset for success, and you're thinking the right way. This is an opportunity for 10 or 15 minutes of your day to be using the law of attraction and getting smarter about making money and making money through real estate and thinking the right way and getting your mindset right and smiling and breathing right and being healthier. And you know what? Guess what? In his third law of success, believe it or not, is physical health. Physical health, and to have it that early on, because guys, you're just not happy and you're just not going to have a successful life if you're physically breaking down all the time and you're sick. And guys, right now in the world, let's face it, health is a prized possession. And being healthy, and you can't be happy if you're in pain. And so let's all focus now. And maybe if you have a little bit more time, this is the time to get on a healthy physical regimen. And I talk about that all the time with Brunch with Brian, and we were talking about eating healthier the other day in the kitchen on Brunch with Brian on Tuesday. Go back to that one, guys, and watch that one. Remember, you can go back. All these Brunches with Brian are on the Facebook stream and on the YouTube. So you can always go back and watch these. If you're bored, go back, watch some of these Brunches with Brian. They're great, and they're always there, and we're always talking about great subjects. So today, and we did a little movement already. We did everything. So today was awesome. Got some great training in there today. And don't forget the 1031 exchange. Just the tip on that, guys. I didn't bury Lee too bad today. Just don't forget the 1031 exchange. When you sell a property that you had held, anytime you sell a property, guys, you just write in, there's 1031 exchange that you got to remember to write in when you're selling it. Just don't go to closing without writing that in. And then you have 45 days after the closing to identify up to many properties, but you can close on 3. I'm not going to get into all the details, but you have up to 180 days after your closing to close on 3 or maybe even more properties to transfer that money into. So guys, if you have questions about that, if you have questions about anything, if you want to get on board with anything that we've talked about, or anytime that we've talked about anything, just call us, guys. It's 888-RICH-NOW. It's an easy number to remember. Do you want to be rich now or rich later? 888-RICH-NOW. So get on board with anything we ever talk about anytime. You can always call us, and you can always email us at support@theWolffCouple.com. Now, listen, guys, I do have a report on the 1031 exchange that I wrote, and it's a pretty good comprehensive report that you can take. It's an actionable report that gives you enough information so you can, work the 1031 exchange. So this is a report that I wrote. And if you want to get a copy of that, I'm okay with sending you probably a free copy, even though I think I used to charge $99 for this report. But if you actually go out of your way to email us at support@theWolffCouple.com, I will send you a copy of this report. So go ahead, and if you want to email me, I will send you a free copy of the report, support@theWolffCouple.com. Or if you want to call and talk to Dashel, he's our son. Most of you already know him. Dashel at the office, 888-RICH-NOW, or our office manager, or just talk to somebody else at the office, 888-RICH-NOW, or support@theWolffCouple.com. Guys, great to see you as always. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. And guys, normally I'm trying to do some kind of structure here. It's good to have structure in your life in these crazy times. And so we're going to try to do formal dining room Fridays. So we're going to be in the dining room tomorrow. I'm not going to put on formal clothes or anything, but we're just going to be in the dining room tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow from the dining room, and we'll join us tomorrow for Brunch with Brian. We'll have more fun tomorrow. See you then.